started. Greetings, Violet. I'm Interrogator Rosarius, attaché to Milady Kuzra Markham of the Order Hereticus, and welcome to Looking Cute and Painting Minis. I'm coming at you live from the grim dark future, currently broadcasting from the Highville of Virago. The theme for the stream is Chords, Lament, Hope by the venerable liturgist Adam Bill, and we have music from all kinds of games, and especially from Waymo 40k Mechanicus and Waymo 40k Dark Tide, which are composed by Guillaume David and copyrighted Bulwark Studios, and also Just Per Kid and copyrighted Fat Shark Games. All our music is provided to us by ende.app and pixel.com. But yeah, today we're continuing to paint my Tzeentch Marine. Oh, let me pull it up here. And we have Coffee and Hubby saying, "Hey Rosario, how are ya?" I'm doing pretty good, Coffee. How you been? And Rex, yes, as far as his afternoon, Rosario, I'm here early today. Hey, happy to have you. Yeah, today we continue to paint, and as you can see, he's coming along rather nicely. I'm trying to remember what colors we last used. I feel like it was probably moose gray. But maybe we started working on some Fenrisian gray. Let's see. Yeah, I think maybe we start with some Fenrisian gray, because he's looking like he's got some third coloring in there, but I don't know if I painted everything. So we're gonna go through it, especially with the exhaust ports in the back. Hey, Coffee Hobby says, ear pain has mostly gone away, but today the atmosphere chose to screw with my head. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you feel better soon. Yeah, I think we need to work on those exhaust ports and... yeah, exhaust ports and maybe get some more from Fenrisian gray on there. But so far, it's looking pretty good. We're getting close to the end, I think. We're gonna start with Roost Gray, because I've noticed that we haven't painted any of the other parts of the exhaust ports. And even, I might have to go over it again with some Fey, because there's some parts that are still missing. Coffee Hobby says it is what it is. Well, hopefully, like I said, you feel better soon, and what it is, it'll be better. Alright, so we're gonna use size 3 grabby just to paint up those parts real quick. And I'm gonna use the Fang. Yeah, because hopefully I missed some parts here, so that's going to clean this up. But what have you guys been up to? And Relavan saying, "Hey, hello, we are here again." Yes. How you been? What you been up to? Let me fix my camera here a little bit. Don't need myself going off screen there. I think I might have to redo some settings here. It's looking pretty choppy. Don't worry, I'm still here. I'm just making sure that our stream isn't getting bogged down with all the settings. Yeah, hopefully that'll do the trick. All right, let's see. All right, Brits gets as far says it's been a day. Tomorrow's looking like another box busy though. Work never ends. Oh, really? What do they have you doing?
Gratias tibi ago pro novo, pontifice
Yeah, it's still coming in a little choppy. See what I can do.
ut semper tibi serviat, illum diriget proteget. Amen.
All right, Game Maniac says finish my Space Bear model. Based on the Finnish bear karhu, so the Fenrisian words are vulka karhu now. I'm doing the new version of the Grey Slayer by Major Minis. Well, sort of new. It's been out for a while. It just took a bit to. Not liking how choppy everything's looking right now. Coffee Hobby says, right arm down to one hand now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you get better soon. That's pretty rough. Okay. Let's see if it's... No, it's still coming in choppy. I'm getting a little annoyed now. Okay, it seems to be maybe my camera slowing things down. Coffee Hobby says my nervous system seems to be freaky. Should hopefully be back to normal soon. Hey, hopefully. I'm praying to the machine god that it gives you a good working body with good cogitators. Game Maniac says maybe removing the visible music thing might help. I'm assuming it can just run in the background without being visible. That or the program to run your VTuber is being a pain. Many VTubers have that issue, especially if their graphics cards aren't the latest ones. But who has those in this economy? Yeah, exactly. And I can't just get rid of the the VTuber model. That's kind of the whole point of the show. So maybe I can fix some of the settings here, or maybe bring down the resolution a little bit. Because my camera just got an update, so I'm figuring that's what's going on with the whole setup. The camera for recording the footage of me painting, I mean. Yeah, every single time I turn it on, it starts overloading. Game Maniac says, yeah, I think the update is causing it. Yeah, I think so too. Let me see if I can bring down the settings a little bit, maybe make it less intensive. Coffee Hobby says, updates can screw things up. Yeah, they sure can. Here we go, performance settings. Alright, let's see if... better. Okay, still kinda coming in very choppy. And to make things, makes matters worse, we got a bot to deal with. Go away, bot. Alright, I removed the camera from the settings. I'm gonna see if I can just play the window. I feel like that worked the other day. Game Maniac says, okay, that was weird. I thought I was being accused by someone else of being a bot. No. I just had to deal with that bot there. It's not coming in. There we go. Alright, we're gonna have to probably deal with this setup. Okay, I think I know what it is. Alright, let's see. Did that do it? Yeah, it said that did it. We got it. And we have DD Minis with some raiders. Thank you very much for swinging by, DD, and thank you for the raid. How you been? What you been up to? I just been dealing with some technical issues while trying to paint my mini. But how's it going? How you been? Diddy Mini says, hey, thank you for swinging by. And Diddy says, not bad, just got done painting. Gotta love tech issues. Oh yeah, absolutely fantastic dealing with tech issues. Alright, yeah, let's go ahead and do a quick shout out to Diddy Minis here. If you're following Diddy, he seems to also do streams, which I wasn't aware of. So it's good to know now. And I'll give you that shout out. Alright. So, yeah, I noticed that the export, should I say the exhaust, not the export. The exhaust, I hadn't touched it yet, and it needs some love, so let's go ahead and work on that. And Diddy Mini says, thank you, sir. Flora, I thought I told you, lol. I guess not, but it's okay, no worries. Better late than never, right? So we're gonna use some more of the Fang. Coffee Hobby says, hello new people from the crazy coffee addicted, currently one-armed miniature painter of YouTube. Yeah, I really hope you get better. Painting with one arm, that doesn't sound very productive. And J-Ray saying hello. How you doing, J-Ray? How you been? Just dealing with some technical issues right now. Hopefully they've all been fixed. Let me see if I can get a little bit more resolution back, because I know I dropped it down. And I think we can still paint. Alright, good. Diddy Mini says, after on, have a good stream. Hey, thank you very much, and thank you for the raid. Really appreciate it. You enjoy your rest, okay? After a hard day of painting, yeah, good rest will do you wonders. But yeah, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Interrogator Osarimas at Tzeentch Inquisitor Markham of the Order Hereticus, and I am currently painting my Tzeentch Marine. Can't go too far in because I keep losing my the tracking of my camera. I want to get in and see all the details. I wonder if I need a higher magnifying setting on my glasses. I feel like at this point, it's not helping. And then Juan Diego Oliveira Velasquez says, heretical painting session, I say. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like I always tell people, it's good to know your enemy. So if you're not going to study your enemy, you are doomed to fail. Alright, let's try with this. May I get a better magnification without having to screw my face all the way in there. But yeah, this is my Tzeentch Marine from what I like to call my maledictors. He is the heavy gunner, and this is going to be my leader. This is Villic the Possessed, taken from Village the Curseling. With some kit bashing, I added a plasma pistol on his left arm, and I added the backpack on his back. The idea is for them to work together to spread chaos. How you doing, Juan Diego? What you been up to? Working on any projects yourself? Okay, Mayday says, mind if I send you photos of my space bear? No, by all means, go for it. I'd love to see it. Okay, let's try this. I keep getting off screen. Hey, I can mirror my position. I'll stop going off screen. Alright. Okay, hopefully that did it. Okay, so we just painted with the Fang, and I was using my size 3 grabby. We're gonna go for something a little smaller. So let me go ahead and check your pictures there. Game Maniac. You sent it to me on Instagram. Okay, Game Maniac says, yeah, Instagram. Okay, I'll go ahead and try to pull these up. Okay, let's try this again. Does not like this. It does not like this one bit. But yeah, we'll try to soldier on. So yeah, this is Game Maniac's miniature. And Jerry says Space Bears. My brother plays those in OPR. He gave me one that I'm gonna paint up as a Chaos Marine. Nice! You're gonna have to show pictures. Now that we have Space Bro on screen, all spacers must be shown. Game Maniac then says, yeah, Instagram. Honestly, only improvement is make on the model, is making the fur pelt look like fur. Here we go. Yeah, we have, yeah, you could use some more colors on the fur, different variations, you know, to show the shadow recesses and bring in some more highlights and like it's actually capturing light from whatever light source would be around it. So yeah, you definitely need more values as far as browns. So you have a good dark base, but I feel like you need to add more. And Game Maniac then says, and the green stuff too, I need to improve on that, but otherwise, I'm quite happy with the result here. Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, I think what was going on is I have my camera on and then I have this on. I can't have too many things on at the same time as far as visuals, because it starts freaking out my setup. Hey, Coffee Hobby says, armor's responding again, I am good. Oh, nice. Coffee Hobby says, I hit 800 followers on Instagram. Very cool. And then we have a good roast dinner, Lord of Chaos. How you doing, a good roast dinner? How you been? I'm interrogator authority was attaché to Political Markham of the Order Redigus, and I'm currently painting my Tzeentch Marine, or he's attempting to, in between some glitches in the cogitators. And Coffee Hobby says, hey Rosario, do you have a Discord account? Yes, I do, but I don't have like a Discord page or anything. So I'm on Discord, but I don't have like my own Discord, I don't know, group. I guess that's what it's called. Yeah, I don't have one of those. But I do have an account. And Rescue Safari says, your computer's machine spirit is weak. Hey. Don't badmouth the machine spirit. Right now, it's working very hard. Let's try to keep it from getting angry by calling it weak. Okay. So we fixed up that part on the exhaust. So we're gonna do some rust gray here. Kaviabi says, join Swap server, we all can talk outside of stream. Yeah, sure. You just have to send me the link to it. And yeah, I don't have access to that. So yeah, send me the link. I'll join up. And we have Agent Blood 22 says, quick, get the incense. We must appease the machine spirit. Yes. Burn all the incense. Say a litany for the Omnisire. Alright, we're gonna use my size 1 Da Vinci. But in all seriousness, I need a better computer. This computer is pretty old as it is. There's so much I would love to do and show you guys. And sometimes I really have to work on my limitations. That's why I haven't played anything like Space Marine 2 or Darktide, which I actually own Darktide. I have not bought Space Marine 2 because of that very reason. I'm like, I probably could play it myself, but then trying to stream it and play at the same time would be like murder for this computer. But welcome, Agent Blood 22, and welcome all new viewers. I hope you're having a good time. What brought you by? Other than tech issues. Alright, so right now we're using Rust Gray And I'm still painting that exhaust because like I said before, I seem to have forgotten to paint it, so we're gonna start working on that now. Coffee Hobby says, sent you the link. Alright, I'll check it out later. There we go, that exhaust's looking a lot better now. And Agent Blood 22 says, been on a tabletop bench lately and looking up painting minis and videos. I paint Tau. Ooh, really? You're probably the first person I've heard that paints Tau. Do you have a favorite set, right? That's called a sept. AKA color scheme. Do you have a favorite color scheme? Do you paint them as our Farsight enclaves, or you paint them something else? Agent Blood says, Sept, yes, and I paint the Farsight enclave since red is my favorite color, and I read the Farsight books. What do you think of them? I've heard mixed reviews about the Farsight books. And Agent Blood says, plus Farsight's one of my favorite characters in the setting. Yeah, they actually made him really cool. Though I sometimes wonder if with that sword, he's gonna get tempted by Korn with all the warp shenanigans on that sword. But lately I've been looking into another war game called Malifaux. Have any of you heard of it? It's pretty cool. I'm actually been doing a deep dive on the lore and the different factions in it. And it's pretty fun. It's kind of like a industrial age, made post-World War One, with fantasy and magic and whatnot, and alternate dimensions. And it involves like gangs fighting for the magic trade, pretty much, in this alternate dimension called Malifaux. Pretty fun stuff from what I've seen. Agent Blood says, I would say the books are hit or miss, because the author seems to have a love-hate relationship with Tao, in general compared with his other 40k books. I do love the books personally, since there are not too many Xenos books. Yeah, there aren't. And like you said, there are a lot of times they're hit or miss. I know that some people feel mixed feelings on the Eldar books. The Orc books usually get a lot of praise, though. Agent Blood says, plus there are some pretty interesting characters like who will become Farsight 8 and actually show some chaos corruption for other races besides humanity. Yeah, I do appreciate when chaos is shown to affect more people. It makes it seem like it's not just a humanity problem. Agent Blood says there's a watercast diplomat that gets corrupted by touching a warp drive and shows his corruption. Ooh, really? Like what happens to him? Is it more of a mental corruption or is it actually physical? Like, does he get mutated? And then he says, which is neat. And then Coffee always says, with the Tau Combat Patrol, I have coming, and the fact that I need to save up for Castella now is decided instead of getting a Questoris. I'm getting a team of 5 Fire Warriors. A team of Fire Warriors, painting them red and putting them in a winter diorama I'm making. Oh, well, red on white would look pretty good. A little Christmassy, but pretty good. And Agent Blood says, winter bases with red primary minis always goes hard, and is what I'm going for, some aside from a dusty moon base surface. To try to make it not look like Christmas. Alright, so now we have that rust gray on there. We can switch up. And then Agent Bless says, but that one with the moon is more from my memories of the old Dawn of War Soulstorm games. The one with the moon. What do you mean the one with the moon? I think I missed something there. Oh, hold on. I'm going for some aside from a dusty moon-based surface. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to differentiate between a moon surface and a concrete surface. And Agent Blood says he falls mentally and is called the Spider. You can guess what from that how he's changed physically. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess not always are the chaos forces subtle. Alright, now we're gonna move on to Fenrisian Grey. And we're gonna use... maybe not necessarily that one, maybe another one. Where's my... is there a smaller brush I have, or am I gonna be just stuck with... yeah, looks like I'm just stuck with 000 Marie. Go and really fine detail now. But right now, I'm only touching the edges. Agent Bless says in Dawn of War Soulstorm, again, if you play Tau, you start on a moon. Tau in that game are red colored, which made me love the faction because they were the only red sept, but later on they changed. When they made the Foresight Enclave and they became the default red Tau faction, the one from game becomes a forest green on afterwards. What is that, like a patch they do later on, or is it that they, in the story, somehow they change their color? Agent Blood 22 says, retconned, like most things 40k nowadays. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of retcons. If you'd like to know my thoughts on retcon, check out my Rosado rants on retcons. Yeah, that's pretty much called why I love canon, or canon, should I say. Okay, we have that on there, so we are good to go. Let's go ahead and start adding some white. So we're gonna start using some white scar. Had to buy this recently. Is this a contrast paint? It is very watery. Yeesh. thought it was a layer paint. They won't use white scar right now. Well, I'll give it one more chance. Let me clean it up a little bit, though. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I wear gloves. Coffee Hobby says, I'm getting tired, ear infection plus my nervous system going screwy seems to have taken it out of me. Hey, you better rest up then. And the Coffee Hobby says, night, Rosario, night everyone. Hey, you take care, Coffee Hobby. Hope you feel better soon. And Agent Bless says, sorry I dropped a crack grenade in there earlier. I guess so. That's probably why. Gotta stop sabotaging the paint stream. Minis don't paint themselves. Why, look at all that. It's like all the way to the brim. Yeesh, it's gonna keep spilling over. Good thing it hasn't gotten on the mini itself. Alright, we're just gonna hit the little rim. Get that extreme highlight. Agent blesses, yes. Yet. Hey, don't jinx me. Yeah, it is really leaking out. Might have to actually pour some out. It's just too much. I know people always say, that painting white is a hassle, but I always figured that was more because it wouldn't stick thing than there was actively an issue with white paint. Because every single time I seem to have some kind of crazy issue with these white paints. I wonder if I can clean this up. Agent Blood says, have you ever thought about transferring them to dropper bottles? I'm actually considering doing that lately. I've heard of dropper bottles being used for them, but I've never tried. I mean, despite my years of painting miniatures, I haven't tried a lot of different techniques. I'm mostly stuck with what works. I haven't even tried any of the other, like, painting, or should I say paints, period. Haven't tried any other paints like Vallejo or green. Is it green stuff? Do they make their own? Or Army Painter? I haven't tried any of that stuff. We're gonna let this paint chill out for a bit. Alright, so we touched up the exhaust ports, so we're good there. But we still need to start adding some more, I don't think we were done with Frontier Gray with everything else. Let me see. Agent Blood says there's a rabbit hole once you branch out with other paints. They become your paint crack. Fortunately, this is something I can fix. I can paint over that. So, like I said, fortunately, I haven't gotten any of that white paint anywhere I didn't want it on. Shadow Revan, hey, Shadow Revan, how you been? And Shadow Revan says, green stuff has paint, but I've never used it. And also, hello. Yeah, welcome. Long time no see. What you been up to? Currently dealing with not just technical issues with a stream, but also with paint. Paint is not being my friend today. This white scar paint that I just bought seems to be incredibly watered down, and when I shook it up, it just spilled all over the place. So we're dealing with the aftermath of that. Shadow always says work. Okay, well, hopefully work isn't going too bad. And Game Maniac says, I see you got white scar soup. Is that what it is? Shadow Robin says, they do have a lot of cement, but Green Stuff World does have stuff like the Vivid Metallic Paint Set, which does look good. And Game Maniac says, yeah, I read that part. But so like, is that a normal thing, an occurrence with White Scar? I'm gonna just stop using it then. And Shadow Ramen says, oof, yeah. And Age of Blood says, Creed Stuff has some good metallics, at least from what I've heard. I'm trying to avoid using metallics nowadays. I really want to work on my non-metallic metal. And so far, I think I'm getting a little bit better with it. There's still a lot more progress to go, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. And, Kim Minix says, I have, wait, before that, Shadowman says I avoid the white scar paint, and then Game Maniac after that says that white scar soup, too, kind of works as a whitewash, so it's not entirely useless. And then Shadow Rabbit says, Corax White for the win. I do have Corax White right next to it. So I was gonna open that up next, but I figured I'd go with the white scar first, but obviously we see that it betrayed me. And Game Maniac says, just Google Citadel white paint alignment chart and you'll get a better understanding of how good or bad certain paints are. Good to know. And then Game Maniac says, no, not Corax White, that's worse. Yeah, I guess whites overall are just terrible paints. Yeah, they don't make ceramite white anymore, and that was the only one that I could get kind of working. Yeah, because I went over to my local Warhammer store to grab some new white paints, and this is all they had, so that's what I picked up. So I definitely ran out. Agent Blood says it might be a new recipe they've slowly been introducing. Then again, GW whites have always been cursed. Tadaroma says, I always hear when you paint white, you paint gray instead. And that's with Korax white. And then Agent Blood says white over black. Okay, we have to start continuing to paint. I've cleaned enough. I'm gonna give this White Scar soup another chance. Like I said, I do have... Wait, before that, I'm gonna try to see if I have enough of Frisian Grey on there. Feel like I might have missed something, but I'm not sure. I don't think I did. But we'll check. Game Maniac says, Citadel has good white paints, just not many. Though my pure white is a Pro Acryl Titanium white. I'm guessing that's another brand. I haven't tried that one yet. Alright, let's see. I think... Yeah, I think that's already the... Let's see. Am I getting any kind of coverage here, or am I just painting the same color? And the Shadowrun says the meal looks good. Oh, thank you, thank you. I am very happy with how it's coming along. Yeah, I think I'm not really getting much of a change here. So yeah, I must have already added Fimrizian Grey on there, but I don't think I added it to the horn. So we're gonna go ahead and add it to the horn. Agent Bless has made the mistake of 3D printing an iPhone stand in black and tried to prime it white for a later pink base. The white took hours and several layers of white. Yeah, I probably should have just printed it white. Though I haven't had much issues with their white spray cans, or at least their whitish spray cans, because I have what is that, the bone white. Game Mini says it's a good brand. I'll have to look it up. One day I will start buying other paints just to try them. But it is not this day. I have so many paints still left of the Citadel ones that yeah, it'll be a while before I start painting with another brand. Agent Blood says that's the best white I've heard. And then he says, never tried it. I use AK and Vallejo. Whites from priming. The iPhone was the first time I used AK Air Primer, and that took too long to dry it out. I found out. And God Emperor Man says greetings, and Lord Wizard Callahan saying hello there. How's it going, God Emperor? And how are things, Lord Wizard Callahan? Greetings, how you been? And we have Tequila Shot Ryan. How you doing, Tequila Shot? Long time no see. What you been up to? And Lakey's Fan says, anytime I need to use white, I do a layer of gray sear on holy white army painter. Then whatever white, and it takes me way less layers. Yeah, since I mostly use whites as an edge highlight, I feel like I don't find myself in those situations. At least not usually. Today being the exception to the rule, or with a new paint and all. Either for my white scars, I use more bone white colors. And, but yeah, how you doing, Lake Kings fan? And what was the guy says the norm, hating administratum. And then the Godimer man says, painting guard models. That's definitely new. Well, right now we're using Fermizian Gray and my quadruple zero Marie. And trying to edge highlight that at horn. But yeah, how you painting your guard, God Emperor? See how I can get a good angle on this. Alright, I'm liking those little edges that I just highlighted on there. Like its fan says, doing good, and yourself? Just got Chinese copies of the old GW Trader Guard brass from Vrax Militia I'm printing. Ooh. Hope they come out okay. But I'm doing really good. Just dealing with some technical issues today. Aside from that, enjoying the process. I'm really happy with how the edge highlighting on the horn is coming along. Let me not jinx that. And got a permasses in the custom 871st Prussian Rifles, my custom guard regiment paint scheme. Ooh, okay, you're gonna have to show me later what that looks like. Yeah, now with having added those little hashes there on the edges of it, makes it look like it's sharp. Look pretty good, I'd say. But yeah, Tequila Shot, what you been up to? I haven't heard from you in a while. Working on any new minis? Yeah, Tequila Shot, for those who don't know, is the one who created the Tribal Elf Queen that I painted a few models back. Oh, and for those of you who may not have noticed, I've had to update my playlist here a little bit. I recently had a copyright claim on a lot of my videos from one of the creators of the music that I play. Apparently, the copyright for the website that I got the songs from seems to have gone away, and now the artist is claiming full copyrights on anything that's using his music. So I had to get rid of quite a few of our songs. But hopefully the new ones that are on here will be a little bit more satisfactory and will be equally as enjoyable. And Tequila Shot says, yeah, getting back into it, finally getting free time again. Nice. And thank you very much for subscribing, Tequila Shot. Really appreciate it. Can we get a hint as to what you'll be working on next?
Purissima, Mater Immaculata, plena gratia et misericordia, intercede pro nobis. Tuque humili servitute voluntatem te, semper expedisti, ostende nobis iter ad veram penitentia. Adiuvanua nos, peccatores, ut cor nostrum. Convertatur ad Filium Tuum, Iesum Christum, qui solus salvat. Rogaim dulcissima Mater,
Okay, I think we are done with that color.
sua infinita peccata, nostra ignoscat, et holda nostra egumen.
Tequila Shot says, I would like to lean into animation more, making short clips for Instagram. Oh, really? Would it be 3D animation or would it be like 2D animation? You're gonna animate the models you created so far? Tequila Shah says, the gold trim is a nice touch. Ah, I'm glad you're liking it. Alright, what else is left? Alright, we're gonna try to open up this can of worms that is White Scar and try to do some edge highlighting. Some extreme edge highlighting. Okay, I think it chilled that for a bit. Like I said, we're doing some extreme highlights now. We're taking white scar and just touching up the absolute edges. Come on. And Teutonic Marshall, first time channel saying very clean highlights. Thank you very much, Teutonic Marshall. Welcome to Looking Cute and Painting Minis. I'm Interrogator Rosar Hibas, attaché to Melody Quizzer Markham of the Order Hereticus, and I'm currently painting my Tzeentch Marine. I'm glad you're liking how the edge highlight is coming along. How you been? What you been up to? Working on any projects yourself? Sonic Marshall says, I'm alright. Mostly just trying to stay cool. Is it warm where you are right now? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, stay cool out there. Sonic says, I'm working through my pile, working on a hand of the Archon team at the moment. That's the Necron one, right? They got some really good models, if I remember correctly. It's on access closed. Drukari. Ah, I gotcha. Hand of the Archon. That's pretty good models too, if I remember correctly. That's that new one, right? That new Drukari one then? And Tonic says, to be frank, I did make the main armor metal. Like metal as in the color metal, or to use metallic paints? Tonic says, they are neat, not the newest one. Well, those are the Exodites with the dragons. Yeah, I'm not talking about those. But the new Drukari ones. The one, do they have that new Drukari character with the fan? Tony says, oh no, I know who you're talking about though. Lady Malice, I think her name is. And then Agent Blood says, that Shadowheart looking one? That's what I was thinking about, but with the black hair. I thought she came out in a kill team, but I guess I was wrong. That was more of a Eldar headquarters model. Yeah, let me look up the Hand of the Archon instead of continuing to guess. Okay, yeah. They look like the Raiders. As a matter of fact, they have very similar model composition. Should I say the Corsairs? The Void Guard. Yeah, they look a lot like the Void Guard, but the edgier version of the Void Guard. And Disonic Marshall says, I mostly do Space Marines and Itineraries for 40k, but I thought the Drukari would be fun to paint for Kill Team. I love Kill Team just because it allows me to paint so many different models. This is a model that I'm painting for Kill Team. And let me bring up the leader. This will be the aspiring champion, or I might have to go with a different rule set for 3rd edition. But yeah, this is my model, which I like to call Villic the Possessed, which is best based on Village the Curseling. And he's got his backpack there. And he's got his plasma pistol, which originally it was no backpack, and he had a flail in the other arm. I think that must have dried up by now. Tzeentch says he's gorgeous. Is that a kitbash? Yes, it is. It is taking a older resin model for GW for Age of Sigmar. I don't think they make it anymore. You might be able to find it on eBay though. And I kitbashed it using some pieces of for the backpack I used some Thousand Suns, and for the arm with the plasma pistol I used Tempestus Scions.
Domine Deus meus, amo te gratus sunt pro omnibusque fecisti in vivi. Amortus fides non novi,
Agent Blood says I've never tried Kill Team. I've barely played, to be honest with you. I mostly just paint. But I like the idea of making all the models I paint game ready. That on the day that I finally get the chance to paint, to play, I'll be able to play them immediately.
non possum hoc facessi adiuvamen ate celestis.
And Teutonic March says, oh wow, lots of different pieces. Yeah. But it's definitely my favorite model so far that I've painted. And Tzeentch Marshall says, I've only played a handful of times, but that was with the defunct Compendium Tyranids. Yeah, see, that's what happens. I was making this kill team for 2nd edition, and now this kill team is not quite as valid as I wanted it to, because I wanted to use the regular Chaos Space Marine rules with, because it brought cultists, and I wanted to paint some cultists, which I have there. I just haven't pulled them out yet. And now I can no longer use the exact rules as I would have before. So I might use them for 3rd edition with some reworking. And maybe instead of using Zangors, just playing my cultists as Zangors. But it definitely takes away a lot of the fun that I originally had planned for it, because I had bought the right amount of cultists for the rule set. And Agent Blood says, fair, I would make some Armageddon Steel Legion and Valhalla Ice Warriors for Kill Team if I had the time. There's some really good videos on that. Check out Pete the Wargamer, and he's made some videos of kit bashing some, I believe it was Krieg models with some Cadian heads, and made some really nice Valhalla and Ice Warriors. Speaking of, I recently bought Caiaphas Cain himself, so I'm eager to paint him. And we have Hecaton saying, hey, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good. How you been? What you been up to? I will give you a shout out here in a second. Let me just try to see if I can lose that bit of white that I had on that paint. Nope, I lost it. Yeah, I've been struggling with this white scar paint that I just bought recently. No one to blame on myself. Should have known that everything they say about white paint is true. Alright, hold on. Let me, if you guys don't follow Hekaton, he is one hell of a streamer. And also miniature painter. And, here we go. Hekaton says, just picking up on the last submodel for the Yorini First Blood cohort box. Nice. I wish I wasn't such a perfectionist and I would get my models done quicker. But I love making every model, even my chaff models, look great. The Tonic Marshal says, I might try kitbashing some of my troopers with blades of corn stuff. Ooh, really? Trying to make some chaos cultists, some chaos worshipping guard. Laking's fan says you can still use the old kill teams. It's legal, like how legends can still be used. Oh, really? I thought they were no longer compatible. Agent Blood 22 says, oh my god, I watch his videos too. I also got Caiaphas Game Model too. I love the books. Oh yeah, I love Caiaphas Game. He's definitely my favorite 40k character. This is so watered down right now. I'm just pulling from the bottle. Alright, so I need to get some more on here. Hekaton says, thank you for the shout out. Hey, my pleasure. Always a pleasure. And Jatonic says, I gotta go, but it was lovely dropping by. I'm on the prowl for more mini painters on Twitch. Hey, like I said, check out Hekaton. He paints minis also, so. Hey, but thank you for coming by. It's always been a pleasure to meet some new people. Then Jatonic Marshals after that says, or just like spikes in hair. Maybe that's what you mean by... Maybe you're continuing from where you were talking about as far as your troopers. And then Heckerton says, binging RuneScape Dragon Wilds. What is that? Is that like a new show or something? Okay. Curtin says I also did a rare thing that I don't normally do and did a pre-order for Ember Obsidian Protocol. It's a game that has gotten its hooks on me. Ember Obsidian Protocol or RuneScape Dragon Wilds? I don't usually pre-order games either. I must really be on a big hype for them. I think the last game I pre-ordered was Dark Tide. That's, or maybe it was Street Fighter 6. I can't remember which one. Can't remember which one came out first. Kikadan says, okay, back with coffee. Alright, enjoy your coffee.
Maria Mater Gratiae, Mater misericordiae, Tue dona gratiarum, largire nobis Virgo clemens.
I feel like I'm getting really close to the end with all this non-metallic. Hackathon says, are you doing a whole kill team or 2K4s? Or some such for your kitbash Tzeentch army? A kill team. I'm not doing any more than a kill team. Maybe eventually down the line I'll have enough for a full army, but as of now, it is just a kill team. So far, I got 2 models of the entire kill team painted. This being one of the 2, by the way, so I'm technically not even at 2 yet. Tequila Shaw says, non-metallic can be challenging to paint. Yes, but it's well worth the effort. Like, I am loving the result. So I am willing to undertake this endeavor as long as it gives me beautiful results like this. Like, I want people to be wowed by my kill team. And maybe eventually my army, whenever they see it on the board, like, oh wow, look at all the detail on every single model. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop there with the white. I'm gonna have to clean this table up a little bit here. And Lakey's fans 55565 says, "Would you like some files for your CSM units so you can expand your army?" I mean, I'm all for it. I'm perfectly fine if I never complete my backlog. As long as I'm having fun. Alright, but one last thing we'll do before we go. I want to at least give him an eye. So we're gonna take Gene Stealer Purple and dot in one eye in there. Hekaton says should give Conquest Army a shot. I definitely want to. I want one of those 100 army. The human faction. I forget what they're called. They're 100 something. 100 kingdoms. There we go. Because I want that robot angel. I want it bad. Alright, we got some in there, but I have a streak there that I do not want. Oh, well, the streak there actually helps define that eye. Lets you see it. See? Check it out. Now he looks like, almost like a Zaku with the one eye. Love the Zaku, by the way. And Rex Casafar says, "Night Rosario, take care." Hey, take care, Rex. Always a pleasure to have you here. We'll be finishing up today. But I want to do one last thing before I go, so we're not quite done yet. And like Svan says, "I'll sort out every and send them later for the same account I sent the rack stuff." Okay, thank you. And Hekaton says, "Don't blame you. I can see it, definitely." And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add a darker purple. If I can find my darker purple. As an edge highlight all around the eye, just so we can really see like if it's glowing. Where's my darker purple? There we go. Nagaroth Knight. Hekaton says, "Don't blame ya." Thanks. And Shadow Roman says, I can see it, definitely. Well, Hekaton says definitely. Alright, we're gonna grab a little bit of this and really make sure it's watered down.
Gratias tibi ad Domine Deus meus, pro omnibus quae mihi et nobis
maybe that's not gonna work quite as I thought. Let me go ahead and just use the same color and just put it on the edge highlight. Alright, now it looks like it's kind of glowing. And we get to see it from various angles. I said that streak, even though I didn't mean for that streak to be there, actually really helps sell the idea of the glowing eye. So yeah, I think we are done with all the edge highlighting, all the non-metallic. Now all we have left to do is the under armor, the what's it called? The leather, and the black parts on the gun, and some of the cabling too. And we should be done. Also the base, can't forget the base. Gonapper Man says it's a happy little accident, as Bob Ross would say. Yes, it is. But he is looking very fantastic. But yeah, if you like what I do and would like to support, please consider subscribing to my Twitch channel or donate to my Ko-Fi at Rosarima's Art. Or if you miss an episode, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, which is also called Rosarima's Art. And remember that if you'd like to commission me to paint a miniature for you, then please hit me up over on Instagram at Rosarima's Art. And as always, before we go, let's see who we can raid. Always like to share the love. Ooh, okay, somebody's painting their first mini. It's a miniature paint, I guess a miniature painter, right? Some kind of painter. It's a VTuber for sure. Called Squeakaboop. Let's go ahead and check out her stream. But yeah, overall, let's thank you all very much for coming. Always a pleasure to have you here. So I have been Interrogator Rosariwas at the Shade Medi Inquisitor Markham of the Old Hereticus. And I'm signing out from the Grim Dark Future. Bye-bye, varlets.